Welcome to Pour the Wine, It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Gary.
Should we get right to it?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to get right into it. Today, we're going to be reviewing She's Making a List. It originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, December 6th, 2025, but you can find it streaming right now on Hallmark Plus.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And we would love it if you would push that button that says follow us so you don't miss an episode when we drop one. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all other social media.
All the places, the places. You can also send us an email to pourthewineitsromcomtime@gmail.com. So shoot us an email and let us know what you thought about She's Making a List or anything Countdown to Christmas or anything Hallmark related, because we are winding down. We are on the downward slope of Countdown to Christmas. Can you believe it? We built up the excitement. We had our drawing, right?
Yes, we did.
Of all the movies that we were going to discuss, because we knew we weren't going to be able to do all of them on the podcast. We're going to try to get to them eventually, but
right.
You know, for time's sake for us and what we do, we just had to draw, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We drew.
Yeah.
We picked the numbers or the shows, and those are the ones we are reviewing.
Yep.
I said interviewing.
So drop us a line and let us know your thoughts.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you, and we might even read it on the podcast.
Oh, we will.
Yeah. Oh, we will.
Yes, we will. So, you want to tell us who is in this one?
Well, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, right? Lacey Chabert plays Isabel. She is a naughty or nice inspector. And of course, Lacey is the queen of Hallmark. I mean, who doesn't love Lacey? Hello.
Yes.
She has been in dozens of Hallmark films. This year, we saw her in Haul Out the Halloween.
Yes.
So cute.
Very
wasn't it?
good.
They finally
very
did
good.
Halloween. And An Unexpected Valentine, which we loved and was our very first podcast.
Yes, it was.
Our very first one. Or podcast review, I should say.
Right.
Just a few of her other films include The Christmas Quest, His and Hers, A Merry Scottish Christmas, the Haul Out movies, of course, the Wedding Veil movies, of course, and Winter in Vale. Yeah.
Those were all great movies.
Great movies. Yeah. Andrew Walker plays Jason, a man who is raising his 11-year-old daughter alone after the death of his wife. He, of course, has been starring in Hallmark films for more than a dozen years. This year, he was in The Reluctant Royal, Three Wisest Men, and A Holiday Touchdown, A Bill's Love Story, where he made a brief cameo as a bartender.
Yeah.
A few of his other movies include Jingle Bell Run, one of our favorites.
Yes.
Right. For Love and Honey, Christmas Island, and of course the other two Three Wise Men movies. He is also Tom Schultz in The Curious Caterer Mysteries. Ooh. Candace Compton plays Andrew Walker's daughter, Charlie. This is her fourth Hallmark movie. She was also in An Easter Bloom, Sweeter Than Chocolate, and Christmas Bells Are Ringing. Pretty cool.
She did a really good job in this one.
I'll round out the rest of the cast, or not all of them, but the key players. Steve Basic plays Rudolph, Isabel's boss. BJ Harrison plays Wanda, and she ends up being a friend of Charlie's.
Right.
At one point, right? Larisa Tronco plays Heidi, which is Isabel's assistant. Alessandro Miro is Giuseppe. He was a fun character, wasn't he?
He was.
He's
really
competing with Isabel to become partner of the Naughty or Nice company. Yep. And Dax Bellinger makes an appearance as Santa Claus.
Santa, I know
him.
Well, She's Making a List was directed by Stacey N. Harding. Stacey has several Hallmark directing credits, including 3 episodes of Holidays.
Oh, we loved Holidays, yes.
To Have and To Holiday.
We haven't seen that one. Maybe we should check it out. Yeah, To Have and To Holiday.
Yes. And 2 episodes of One Calls the Heart, Round and Round, and Love Classified.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Joey DiPaolo is the writer, which, let me tell you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him a little bit more, right?
We're going to talk.
A little bit.
Joey has 3 writing credits. The other 2 are shorts, not the kind you wear. Okay, just saying. Just wanted to throw it out there.
I wonder if he wrote maybe he didn't. IMDb doesn't have any other writing credits for him than those three, but I thought there was something about an Austin in Texas.
Yeah, it's I believe it was an American in Austin.
Or an American in Austin in
Right.
Texas. Listen to me. I got that all. I'm
Which
sorry.
I believe aired last year.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Joey and his wife, Veronica Brown, own the production company Purple Crayon Entertainment. So there you have it.
There
with
you
Joey
have it.
DiPaolo.
Yes. An American in Austin.
Right.
That's the correct title. I apologize.
You were like, Texas.
Too much
Austin,
on the
Texas.
brain these days with the holidays and everything we have going on and all the parties and all the
crazy.
everything.
So let's go ahead and drop the synopsis for this.
All righty. A naughty or nice inspector evaluating a girl's Christmas status falls for her widowed father, making her question the strict rules of her consulting firm and forcing her to choose between protocol and love.
Oh, and guess what? Which one wins out?
Well, we'll keep it a mystery until we're done with our review, right?
And we're at that point in the podcast where if you have not watched this movie, you might want to stop our podcast, go watch it, come back and listen. Or you can do it in reverse. Go listen to us and then go watch the movie. Yeah. Whichever you prefer.
One way or the other, right?
One way or the other.
Yeah.
You'll be satisfied. So, what did you think about this one?
You want me to go first, huh?
Yeah, you go
first.
What
did I think? Some first takes on this one. Well, to be totally honest, when we watched it the first time, because we do watch the movies, we watch almost every movie at least twice, right? Because we watch it the first time to enjoy it,
right?
You know, as a viewer, and then we watch it the second time to sort of take our notes and kind of go through it. And we try not to discuss it during or after, though sometimes, you know, you can't help it if we laugh at the same time or, you know, something comes up and we have to get it out, which, you know, and I was sort of confused a little bit after we watched it the first time. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but I can't explain what I was expecting. I just was kind of like, you know, I was a little bit in that gray area of, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I was sort of like, it wasn't what I expected. But then when we watched it the second time, and I know you're going to talk a little bit about something that we listened to, right?
Right.
And it kind of gave us a different perspective. And when we watched it that second time with that new perspective, it changed things for me, honestly.
Right.
And watching it with that fresh perspective really made a difference for me, for sure. And I enjoyed it a whole lot more the second time around.
Right.
Once I gave it a second shot. And I know, you know, a lot of people don't always get that chance, but if you saw it the first time and you didn't, you know, it wasn't quite a fit that you thought it was going to be, go back and watch it again after you listen to this review, because I think you might have a change of heart. And I really enjoyed it the second time. I mean, I thought it was okay the first time. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was awful. I just was sort of a little confused, a little surprised. But then I came around to it, and then I really, you know, I get what they were trying to say. You know, it's so true that there's a gray area, right? Kids aren't necessarily bad or good. You can't always put them in a, you know, in a box, right? Like there is a gray area, and too often we do that. And I think this movie did a great job of really expressing that and giving kids a lot more credit. You know, and I know I've been guilty of it, right? Of not giving that credit sometimes, even to ours. And you really do need to. And so I found myself, you know, enjoying it. What about you?
I too went into this, I guess, thinking something totally different, something maybe along the lines of Sugar Plumbed.
Yeah, like a little suspended reality.
With some comedy.
Although you have to a little bit, I guess, here too.
But like you, after we finished, I was kind of like, you got two of Hallmark's biggest actors and actress, great supporting cast. Yeah. I don't know what I think. But then you and I listened to a podcast, Hallmark Cafe, who did an interview with Joey DiPaolo and Veronica Brown. And
his wife, right?
His wife. And like you said, my perspective going into the second watch was way different.
Right.
And I ended up really, really liking this movie.
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah, because, the old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know the context. You don't know people's daily situations. And if you watch it in that mindset, you'll realize this was really written very well.
Very well. Yeah. And I think, and Joey's wife, Veronica, right? She executive produced it.
Yeah.
And if you go, I highly encourage you to go and listen to Hallmark Cafe's podcast about She's Making a List and their interview with Joey and his wife, Veronica. And it was such a fresh perspective. And because I think when I went into it, I was expecting, like you said, more of like the sugar plumbed.
Right.
We're going to get that magical. And I think for me, the confusion was a little bit of, are we in fantasy? Are we not?
Right.
Like, can people see
them,
Isabel,
or see her,
played by Lacey? Can they see her? Do they know what's going on? And it is in fact grounded in reality, in the human experience. They made her human. I mean, she is, but so once you listen to them discuss their process and how they came up with the idea and what, and I don't want to give too much of the interview away because I really do believe you should go listen to it because it is really, it's a great interview. And we'll post a link maybe in the comments to their podcast. I mean, I'm not, I'll do that. It's a great podcast. And Michael and Diane from the Hallmark Cafe, they really get into the weeds of things, of how movies are made.
Yep.
And it's just, it's a really, really good interview. And, like you said, we just both have a fresh perspective on it. Yeah. And now I'm kind of digging it. Right.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, when we started watching it the second time, thinking, oh, wow, look, Santa Claus, he went enterprise. He's farmed out the naughty or nice list.
He's farmed it out. Yeah. And you kind of, I mean, you have to suspend reality a little bit there, but
he farms it to a company that, is played by Steve Basic Rudolph. He himself
plays Rudolph. Yeah.
As a kid received coal. Right. And, when I started thinking about that type of, view on it, I was like, okay, I get this now.
Well, and I think the point there was with Rudolph, right? He received coal as a child, and then he tried to do better, right? Even as a kid, he tried to do better, and he kept getting coal because everyone saw him as that same boy who got coal. He was not allowed to grow, to change. He wasn't allowed to, and so that's why he started the company, because he really wanted, because he sends the inspectors to look at kids who are maybe like on the fence, or like they might change, or, there's some question about whether they are naughty or they are nice. And, so, yeah.
And it's true today, even today, where if someone is seen as a bad person, when they actually do something good, they're not credited with it. And it's pretty sad.
I think it's really hard. It's really hard to overcome that. And I think, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later, because Isabel comes because she's supposed to watch Charlie, which is Jason,
daughter,
played by Andrew Walker. It's his daughter, right? And her mother has died. And so she's not really given the opportunity of, her mother's died. She's trying to make changes, like things like you said, you can't judge a book by its cover. There's more beneath the surface than you realize. And I think a lot of people don't get below the surface, especially with children. You think it's one way or the other way. And like I said, I mean, I was like that. We have a total of 4 between us. We're a blended family. And I mean, I know I was, I may have looked at things black and white a little bit, in my younger years. And I wish maybe I hadn't so much, but, I was always sort of like, prove your innocence, with the kids instead of, you're innocent until proven guilty. I was like, you're guilty until proven, and so, I mean, everybody makes mistakes and everything, but this is just such a good look at that, and sort of flipping it on its head, and really giving you a perspective that maybe you haven't thought about, and it might change some people, honestly.
Yeah. So, and what I found interesting, it was her assistant that actually put her on the path to looking at these
Yes.
kids differently.
Yes.
And
Yes, that's a great point.
yeah, so sometimes it takes somebody from the outside looking in to help you out, to help you see.
Yeah, and Isabel she's kind of rigid, right? There's a structure, there are rules, and that's what you go by. And you're right. And so her journey through the movie is, how do you deal with going outside of that box?
Right.
How do you learn to look outside of the box? And, and why aren't we looking outside of the box?
Right,
Why
exactly.
don't we do that? Why aren't we judging the kids that way? And so I kind of thought that,
And
yeah.
and if you think about it, Rudolph used an algorithm, AI.
Yeah.
And AI doesn't have a conscience, right? So
Right.
basically
Right.
it's learning what you gave it to learn. And Isabel, she was trained almost kind of like AI, where she wasn't putting emotion into it, and she was just, had them blinders on and was just one way, even though, and that's where her assistant came in and helped her out. But I just, I'm glad we listened to that podcast.
I am too, and I'm glad we watched it again, which we were going to do anyway, and I think we probably would have come around a little bit.
Yeah.
But it really helped gain that perspective. So do you want to talk about some favorite scenes?
Yes.
Okay, you go first with one.
Okay, my first favorite scene was the opening, where Isabel, played by Lacey Chabert, was narrating the origins of the naughty or nice list. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And, and you and I talked about this after, how sometimes, narration, like film purists, if you will, narration and breaking that fourth wall, like you shouldn't have to do that if the story is that good, right?
Yes.
Like if the story is really good, you should. But I actually enjoy it. I think it totally works in this film. Whenever they used it, and then you do find out more that they used it to sort of give background, and because you can't fit everything in 80 minutes or whatever it is, so you gotta kind of fill in the gaps a little bit, and I thought that they did that really well.
Yeah.
And
that's why books a lot of times are better than the movies, because you can put all of that into a book.
Yeah, a book gets all the details, right?
Yeah,
or supposed to.
Oh, you know what? We didn't talk about the meet cute.
Ooh. Oh no, we can go back. You want to talk about the meet cute?
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought it was great. I actually, when Jason, so Isabel is narrating, like you said, right? She's breaking that fourth wall, and she's talking about, I'm losing what she was talking about in that moment. She's telling us why she's doing what she's doing. Is that? Yeah. Yeah. And then he kind of bumps into her, and she's like instantly back in that scene. Right. I just thought that was pretty cool. And he kind of looks at her, and she's sort of like, it's Andrew Walker.
Yeah.
Hello, it's Andrew Walker. So she kind of looks at him, and, and he's kind of looking at her, and you can kind of see a little brief connection. Right.
Yep. Totally.
And then she drops the paper that she has taken a note on. And can we talk about that just for 1 second, since we are there at that scene?
Let's do it.
So she had been watching she had been watching a kid, right? And she had taken a note, and she's like, naughty, But the note, I thought it was really interesting, because she leaves the note, and, and Jason picks it up, and it just says, broken taillight, naughty. And I was like, maybe, and, because I was like, that's all she wrote? Like, that's it? Yeah. And then I started thinking, after we listened to Veronica and Joey, and, maybe it was that brief because she was that black and white, like broken taillight.
Right. Hey, that's a good point.
He didn't own it, naughty. There's no reason. There's no.
It's like AI,
and that's it. So maybe that's, because at first I was like, that's really weird that's all. It, but maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm not in there. They didn't say that. I'm just.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe not, but yeah. But what'd you think of it?
I thought it was awesome, because, like you said, she was walking down the street with her meter maid outfit on.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, we got to talk about the different.
And I have all of them listed, because I thought it was funny, all the different disguises she wore.
Yes.
And, she's walking down the street and she's narrating, like you said, breaking the fourth wall. And then they bump into each other and she automatically gets brought back into the scene. And so did I. I was kind of like, I was into what she was saying. And next thing I know, it was like, whoop,
and you're like, oh, we're here.
Right. And just the way that she looked at him and he looked at her, it was that meet cute was written really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree.
So there you go.
I agree.
So let's get back to favorite scenes since I said one of mine. What was one of yours?
Mine would be, there's a scene where, Jason sees Isabel lurking around his house, right? Because she's trying to get a look at Charlie, you know, and she lies and she's got a power company, or whatever. Does she have is that her second, disguise-ish sort of? Yeah. Right. And she's got, and she's like, she's with a power company and he's like, oh, well, I need your help with something. And she's like, oh, because she really knows nothing, right? About, how to fix anything electrical, but she has just lied. And she's like, yeah, I'll take a look. And then she's like, oh, I don't have my tools. And he's like, that's okay. Just, I have some, I'll go get them. And she keeps trying to make up these excuses as to why she can't fix or look at what whatever issue he's having. Right. And so then she just finally, she has to tell him, I'm new. She doesn't come clean, but she and I just thought that scene was really cute, really fun, really well written, and you kind of see their banter a little bit in that moment. And she's, trying to get out of it. And he's got an excuse as to why she can't. And I just thought it was really, really cute.
Yeah. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And that's kind of during the time, like you said, her assistant Heidi is looking at more videos of a kid that Isabel and Heidi had reviewed.
Right.
And Isabel was like, he's naughty. He grabbed the wrong,
spray bottle.
He did something on purpose. And Heidi's like, well, no, I don't. I think it was an act. I don't think he did that on purpose. I think so. Heidi's still reviewing. She's looking at the gray area. Right.
Right.
So that's kind of while that's going on with the scene.
Yeah. So, and you're right, because inside of that file or that cabinet was the product that the child actually thought he was
grabbing.
Using. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. But she was her own AI. She
was
no conscience, no nothing.
Right.
No human
she just,
thought.
Matter of factly.
Boo. There it is. Right.
Yes.
Another one of mine was when the Clark Kent reference.
Yes, I have that also.
They were in a market.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And it's funny because I didn't catch it the first time, but the second time he had said something about it, Clark Kent, because she was putting her glasses on and taking it off. And then she went into some kind of, she was telling this story about how she's in the background and she loves helping people without getting the credit. And that's kind of like how Superman was, or Clark Kent was, is, as Clark Kent, he's just a newspaper reporter, and as Superman, he's saving the world, but he doesn't get the credit for it. So having to live with that psychologically would probably, over time, bother me.
Yeah.
Because you're what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, and you think of that as, everybody always talks about how ridiculous it is that no one can recognize Clark Kent versus Superman just by putting on glasses, right? That's such a known, and I thought it was so great that they used that in that moment, So, because he even says it's very Clark Kent, and she's trying to be disguised so she doesn't run into other inspectors, right? So she thinks this is a disguise, no duh, and it's just, I thought that was so cute.
So that was another disguise she was in. So,
sort
the
of
glasses,
ish.
Yeah. So,
but also in that scene, he talks about his wife, and when his wife died, he used to be a cynical, snobby food critic, and he was mean about things a lot. And then, because I have that as one of my favorite scenes also, that whole market scene.
Right.
And then, he he had been really mean to people. And when she died, it just sort of gave him that new perspective. He didn't want to be that way anymore. So he went back to all those places that he bashed and he worked for them, you know, and
Right.
I just thought that was just their conversation was
Mhm.
great and it was fun and, you know, kind of funny and quirky. And
Right.
so I enjoyed that. And then, like you said, you know, she says she does something small even if nobody knows she's doing it. Like
Right.
she enjoys watching people, you know, she enjoys watching people,
Yeah.
right? Try. Someone
Yeah.
who's having a bad day finds a way to be kind and it makes her feel like the world's okay. And so their conversation and that whole scene I had as a favorite scene also.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
Yeah, I got another one, and it was when Charlie was faking being sick because
Oh yeah, that was so cute. That was cute.
and Andrew Walker, Jason, was like, "Oh my God, your fever is 105," and he's kind of freaking out, not knowing what to do, and so he leaves the room, and Isabel can see that she's actually lying because she sees the
Right.
little heating pad,
Right.
that made her temperature go up. But instead of, busting her, she actually, stood up for her and said, "Oh, it'll be fine. All she needs is some love and some snuggles and she'll be
Mm-hmm.
okay."
Yeah,
And
and
I really
that was
enjoyed that
great.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That was a really great scene and another kind of signal to Isabel that there might be a gray area. You know, you
Right.
don't know why she's
Right.
acting out or
Why
you
is
don't know
she
why
acting?
she's
Yeah.
doing these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought that was good.
So that wasn't
Yeah.
one of mine. What's another one of yours?
Gotta mention the pizza place. Sips and slices. You pick a pizza and we pick the wine to go with it. Just love that just for the wine. Just
Yes.
have to, that's an
Yes.
honorable
Yes.
mention
Yeah.
right there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to that. I liked when Isabel's following Charlie again and she is like the ice cream truck or what was she?
It was a cookies and coffee
The
truck.
It was
Yeah.
what? Cookies? What'd you say?
Coffee and cookie truck.
Coffee and cookie truck, right? And
Yeah.
she's like the driver, Isabel is. And so that theme throughout the whole thing, like you said, her different disguises that she was trying to, you have to blend in, but you're not supposed to talk to the subject. And so I just thought that was really funny. And she thinks Charlie's being bad and she's breaking into a house and she hears Isabel screaming. So she runs in her full,
Right.
cookies and coffee truck gear, right? And she goes in there.
Yeah, that was so fun.
And actually, Charlie has become friends with one of her moms, someone who knew her mom, right?
Wanda.
And so Charlie goes and helps this woman, and she's an elderly woman. And you find out that Charlie's been running errands for her, right? And
getting her
and
mail.
doing, yeah, and that's where Charlie learned her magic tricks.
Yeah,
right. So,
and that's what the screaming
I thought that was really cute.
Is she was laughing at the fact that Charlie had put a $20 bill in her back pocket.
Yes, it was, and it was that was really, really cute.
Right.
Did you have any others?
Man, I had a whole bunch.
You did.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna hold off on them. What about you? You got any more?
I mean, the only other one would be not the only other one, but the one I'll end on. The driveway talk between Jason and Charlie. They kind of talk about the one year how the lights caught on fire and Charlie ended up with ice cream because she said, Mom always took me for ice cream when she was mad at you, because
that was funny.
So, and then Charlie mentions how she noticed Santa's writing changed. She noticed something a little different. It was just a sweet conversation between the two of them. And then Charlie tells him that Isabel doesn't work for the electric company.
Right.
And that's when he finds out. And it's interesting that Charlie kind of, Isabel has told her by that point, right? That who she really is and what she's doing. And, and Charlie at first, she's a little skeptical, but she's a kid. So she's like, okay.
I thought it was funny when she told her she worked for Santa and she was like, "Oh, so you're going to lie to me about this and that. And then you want me to believe that you work for Santa on the naughty and nice list." I thought that was like, she's got a point.
She does have a point.
So,
So we could talk about other scenes, the whole Santa scene, but I'm going to get into that as one of my cheers. So.
Well, I just want to go over the different disguises because I thought they were pretty funny. I'm just going to list them. We don't have to talk about them, but she was a meter maid.
That's funny. You wrote them all down. The meter maid. Yeah, that was.
And I didn't know if this was on purpose, but she was a bird watcher too. And I don't know because, Andrew was just
Oh,
in
yeah.
a movie about bird watching.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did
Adventures
that on purpose or
what
if
was
they
it?
added that.
Adventures in Love and Birding, right?
Yes.
Something.
She worked for the power company. Clark Kent. She was the window washer. Remember that scene? And then the coffee and cookie truck driver owner. So those were the different disguises that she wore.
They were. And I'm so glad you wrote those down because that was such a theme throughout. And now that you think about it, it really was kind of funny that she did that throughout the whole movie, right? So it was cute.
So you want to get into your cheers?
Cheers. Yeah. We'll do cheers and jeers now, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think I mentioned Adventures in Love and Birding when I talked about Andrew Walker from this year. Yeah. Did I miss that? That was bad on my part because we loved him in that.
That was another good movie.
We absolutely loved him in that. Yeah. Yes. So I apologize, Andrew, but that was really good. That was like, cheers for me. If we start with the cheer, just the overall theme, I did come to really just enjoy that we can't put kids or people in a box, and sometimes people do change and they should be allowed to change. Now, I mean, depending on the offense, we're talking about less than, the horrific things, but, and there can be circumstances and reasons why people are behaving, acting, doing, saying something. And most of the time when you get below the surface, it's hurt, right? And or sadness, grief, and all of that. And so, and you do need to take that into consideration. And I really liked there's a scene at the pizzeria where Andrew Walker's trying to help Jimbo open up, right? He's trying to, I think, help him open up a pizzeria. And, and Andrew has the sips and, what is it? What did I just say? Slices and sips or whatever. Yeah. And, and Jimbo's like, that's too, am I saying the name right? Is it Jimbo? Yeah. It's too frou-frou. And then Jason, Andrew Walker, gets Charlie's opinion about that. And she's like, you know what? No, that's too bougie. That's too frou-frou. And then she has some good ideas, and it sparks another idea for a dessert for the owner of the pizzeria. And so I just thought that was such a great way to say, hey, I know we kind of dismiss kids a lot of the time, but sometimes they have excellent feedback. Yes, right. And I mean, they're going to have wild stuff sometimes, but you don't have to take it all. But sometimes they do. Their input is valued and valuable and can be, and we dismiss it too much. And so just that overall, the black and white of it all, don't put people in a box. We really need to, children are people too, and I enjoyed that. That would be my biggest cheer for the movie. How about you?
My biggest cheer, and it's playing off of yours, where don't put people in a box because people can change. I like how in the end they did, where Rudolph and Giuseppe both got what they didn't get when they were little.
Right.
So it kind of came full circle,
That was really cool.
I thought that was really cool. And just to see the reactions on their face when they opened them up, the gifts up.
It was so good. It was so good.
And I just have to say, Rudolph or Steve Basic, he played that part really, really well.
He really did.
I really enjoyed him in that one.
He was so great in it. He really was. And funny. He's not really in it that much, right? But he is in it enough, and then you do learn, of course. I think that, didn't they say in the interview that a lot of his parts were cut, or didn't they mention that? So he had more scenes, but he was fantastic. Yeah. He was really, really good in it.
He was.
Yeah.
So do you have any more cheers?
The cheers, I really liked the Santa when they go to see Santa. We're Christmas fanatics over here, and I love that Santa works in Delaware, by the way. He's,
Santa's got
in Delaware.
He's
got an office in Delaware, right? And there was, we kind of talked about it. We didn't really talk about this too much, but there was some of that magical music in certain parts. So that was when you were supposed to sort of suspend. I wrote them down. I won't go back, and I'm trying to find them now. But there were parts where I was like, oh, there's the music. Like when they go into the control room, when Isabel is at her office and she goes into the control room. There's that magical, and that's where you're like, oh, okay, this is where you're supposed to suspend. This is where it's not reality, right? Like it's. And I thought that was a good way to do that. And of course there was that with Santa, and he lets them. The Santa that was.
Oh, yes.
Weren't you going to mention
the impersonating Santa?
The impersonating Santa, yeah.
Yes, and he was played by Kurt Long, who was also in the 3 Wise Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
was he in all of them, or just
he was in all of them. I believe.
Okay. He was in the first one too.
I think so. I know he was in the last 2,
but definitely the second one, right? Yeah,
the second.
You
and the
recognized
third one.
him.
Yeah. And in this one, he impersonates a Santa, which Charlie, ooh, that was a good scene because Charlie kind of,
put him in his place because he's like, you want to get on my lap? And she's like, no, thank you. I will stand.
And
I'm like, we make children get on Santa's lap. Why do we do that?
I know.
I mean, like, why do we make children get on strange men's lap?
And when he asked her what she wanted, she was like, let me see. I don't know if you can really do this one, but world peace. The look on his face was like, whoa.
But then he ends up being Santa's like assistant, right? Like he's his Santa's assistant. So he lets them in the office, and Santa tells Isabel he's been expecting her. Right. And she's kind of shocked, and he has a book for her, and she looks through the book, and then he magically snaps his finger, and Rudolph, he brings Rudolph there, like traveling through space and time, right? So Rudolph is golfing, but he appears there because he wants to talk to him about what did they want to.
Well, she had mentioned his program, the 2.0 AI, and that it can't. She said we can't use that because it does not catch the context of the situations that kids grew up in. Right. And why some of them act out the way they do. And so Santa brought him there to, I guess, kind of fire him.
Well, to say they have a different idea. They're going to go a different route, right? Because Isabel's like, it's not always black and white. We need to guide them, not judge them, and she says they're finding their way through the world, and we need to be, like you said, like naughty versus nice doesn't incentivize children. It just makes them mean adults.
Yeah. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was there was a lot of profound stuff in this too, I thought.
Yes.
And Santa decides he wants to go in a different direction, and he wants, Isabel to lead it. And it was kind of a cute scene too, when Santa's like, I want you to lead it. And she's like, well, I don't know. And then she looks at, Jason and Charlie, and they're like, yes, you want it. Yeah. I thought that was really cute the way, and she's like, yes, I'll take it. I'll take the job.
Yeah.
So I just thought I loved that whole scene. I loved the magic part of it. I loved the reality part of it.
Right.
I absolutely adored when Santa touched the side of his nose to leave and disappear, because, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, he touches the side of his nose, right? Yes. That is part of that classic book, which I love, so I love that little nod there when he did that. I mean, I almost teared up. I'm not going to lie. I was like, that is so good. And Up the Chimney Heroes, right? So I thought that was really cool. And then the end, how they talk about it, it changed Christmas forever, So yeah. Any more cheers from you?
No. So let's dive into some. Did you have any jeers?
I didn't really have any. I don't think I had any jeers. I probably would have after the first watch, just because I was confused.
Right.
I was expecting it to be more, I want to say magical. I don't know what the right word is here, but I didn't expect that they would be walking amongst us, like the naughty and nice. I thought it would be more, like you said, sugar plum dish kind of, where they appear, and it wasn't, or angelish, but it wasn't like that. And because I wasn't expecting it, that affected because we're so ingrained with Naughty or Nice and,
Right.
Santa and, the whole magic of
I
it
agree.
all. So, but I don't have any jeers. What about you?
Nope. I do not
Nope,
have
you
any.
either.
Yep.
Oh,
Because like you, if we hadn't watched it a second time, maybe.
maybe.
But no, I didn't have any.
What about Tinseltop moment? Let's move on. Did you?
When I have to go with when Santa Claus said, and you had already talked about it, but he had said he was expecting Isabel, and he had a book of her wishes when she was
Yes.
little, and she was reading them as she was flipping through them, and she had talked about it earlier in the movie. When she was little, she would write these little wishes.
Oh, I think I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was not homeless, but her mom had died and her dad really wasn't around, so she moved from foster home to foster home. And I just thought that they brought that full circle. And I can't remember what the last one was because it kind of wrote itself on the page when she opened it up.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I wish I would have wrote it down.
Yeah.
But that was my Tinseltop. What about you?
I would probably have two. I would have the driveway scene between Jason and Charlie just because I thought that was just
was a good one too.
Wonderfully acted and just a wonderful moment between the two of them with her mom passing and them acknowledging it, talking about change without talking about, it was sort of just an easy conversation and flow. And I thought that was great. And I also love the side of the nose on Santa. I just got to throw that in there because that would be a Tinseltop moment for me personally. This has nothing, to do with the story, but I adored that. So, so out of 5 ornaments, how many would you hang on the tree for this one?
She's making a list. I'm so glad we watched it a second time. I'm going to give this 4 1/4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I'd give it probably 3.75.
Oh,
almost a 4.
Almost.
I mean, out of 5, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
No, I mean, it's worth the watch. I think everyone, if you watched it the first time and you were kind of on the fence about it, go watch it again. Go listen to Hallmark Cafe's interview,
right,
and then go back and rewatch it.
Yes,
and I would be shocked if your opinion didn't change.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I agree. So is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Well, we want to thank you again for listening and now watching.
Yes. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on social media so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, cheers.